Hey guys, Joe Simpson. Welcome back to Tech Wake. Wanted to talk to you today about a watch that I just purchased and give you my take and my reasoning for buying the G-Shock. Let me just give you a little backstory as to how I even evolved to this. First of all, I'm a serial collector. So if it's fishing and I find a lure that I like, I'll buy all 10 colors that it comes in. If there's a fishing reel and a fishing rod combo that is good, I'll get all 5 variations that's available in. I'll just saturate myself with whatever hobby I'm into. That's kind of my thing. Everybody knows this about me. You'll even know this with my electronics, all these gadgets and gizmos that I come on here with. It's a little random because it doesn't really follow a certain flow. It's not all computers. It's not all music. It's not microphones. It's not cameras. It's all of those things. So I really am a serial collector. But the reason I ended up getting a G-Shock isn't necessarily because of that at first, but I see a similar situation brewing. Let's talk about the history of the tech world with me and where I've ended up when it comes to watches in general. And it starts with the phone. So the other day I had a stark realization looking at my phone battery usage. When I'm using my phone, 47% of that time was either Instagram, Facebook, or some other social media thing. And that's not my business. I'm a contractor. It doesn't mean that I'm sitting out on the jobs going through Instagram or Facebook, but what it does mean is when I'm sitting there with my phone with some downtime, that's what I'm doing. And to me, that's just mentally erosive. It's really bad. So I made a decision to delete all of that stuff off of my phone. It's not necessarily that I can't still access it from my computer at home at a desk, but at least it puts me in a situation where I'm going to have to make an effort to be somewhere to engage with that stuff instead of just having it in my pocket 24/7. The other thing I realized even before I made this realization was smartwatches just aren't for me, I don't think. They're too distracting, and I'm a distractible person. So when I get in front of a customer and somebody's trying to call me and my phone's buzzing and therefore my watch is buzzing, I'll look down and I'll look down and the customer will be like, oh, are we short on time? Do you need to go? And I'm like, oh no, somebody's calling me. That's all. And it's no less rude, but it's just the way that it works out for me. Some people can ignore it. Some people can silence it. I know there's all different types of settings. But I wanted the smartwatch for a couple of reasons. I wanted it for health tracking, and then I wanted it for notifications and phone relay, so I didn't have to pull my phone out of my pocket. But what I found frustrating very early on was how much I needed to charge those devices, even the Amazfit, which lasts for 10 days. I'd still have to charge it, and then also the distraction that it caused. It was also a little bit difficult to see certain screens. And when I first got to the smart devices, I thought, well, this is going to be good because I was used to wearing analog watches that look like this, which are fine. They're very nice, dressy. But if you look at that date window, I literally, without my glasses, and even with my glasses, I have to kind of hold it. It's hard for me to read this. Now I can see the time right away, so that's no problem. And if I'm going out to dinner, doing something casual, just wearing kind of a dress watch that looks nice with, whatever I'm wearing, it's perfectly fine. But I still had the problem of being able to see everything that's on that watch and engage with the information. Now with the smartwatches, I could adjust the screen to have the data that I wanted on there, and it was pretty nice. Over time, I just got tired of their lack of durability, the necessary recharging, the other issues that came up with the interruptions and things like that. So I kind of was like, what do I want? What's my problem? Do I even want to wear a watch? Was what I was thinking. But I really don't like having to dig my phone out of my pocket when somebody says, hey, what's the date today? And I'm like, hold on. I hit this button and swipe up and push the wrong thing, and it gets frustrating as heck. So I said, maybe I just want a cheap digital watch with a giant face. This is the Casio AE1500 WH. It cost me $21. The battery is supposed to last 10 years. I can see everything on that screen at a glance with or without glasses, and it's practically bulletproof. I mean, it is durable. It's pretty shock resistant. It's not a G-Shock, but it's fairly shock resistant, meaning I'm sure I could drop it on the ground many times without breaking it. It does have an acrylic face, which isn't a mineral face like the G-Shock, but it's really easy to read, and it's $21. And I was thinking, like, even if the battery lasted 6 or 7 years, what's this thing going to look like? And then will I care to even change the battery if it's a $21 watch and I can just get another one? And it does a lot of things that I wanted a watch to do. So let's talk about some reasons you would want to have the G-Shock over these other smartwatches or analog watches. First of all, G-Shocks and Casio watches, and then we're just going to generalize Casio watches. We're just going to kind of bulk them in there. Not all Casios are the same. The G-Shocks are the most durable, but there's many sport watches from Casio that are equally, maybe not equally durable, but they're durable to withstand shocks and drops and waterproofness and extreme temperatures. The water resistance on most G-Shocks go to 200 meters, which is 660 feet, which is deep. It's a lot of pressure. You're going to be able to do just about anything in water with those other than just like deep diving and stuff. The non-G-Shock, the Eliminator I have, is 100 meters. This one can go down to 330 feet, so it's plenty waterproof. It's just not as deep as the G-Shock. Long battery life. The Eliminator that I have, since it's so big, it has like that CR, 2025 battery. It's like a size of a nickel. So it's a huge battery that can go in this thing and run it for almost 10 years. The original G-Shock, which I have right here, is the 5600 series. This one imitates or looks like the OG, the very, very first one that they came out with. It's a little smaller than the Eliminator that I have. So if you look at this one next to the Eliminator, you can see the difference in screen and the difference in legibility of the screen. Now, the smaller one has a mineral face, a metal clasp, a little bit better band, and much more durability and waterproof rating. But I actually prefer the big one. And I'll tell you why. The buttons are easier to push. I use the countdown timer for working out. Long battery life on these things, 2 years on the G-Shock. Some G-Shocks have 10 years, and then 10 years on the other one that I have. Low maintenance. You don't really do anything. You don't charge them. They do beep on the hour. You just heard that maybe. Affordable price point. The big one, $21. The small one, $44. That's very inexpensive. When you're talking $44 for a G-Shock that can go down to 660 feet and get beat up like there's no tomorrow, that's incredible. And then if you look at the Eliminator, which is a tough watch also, 10-year battery, huge screen, $21. I mean, you can't beat that. Tactical and outdoor features. A lot of the G-Shocks come with altimeters, barometers, compasses, thermometers, and they're really good for outdoor stuff. I do a lot of kayaking and fishing, so a lot of times my hand gets dunked under the water, so it's not going to be any issues getting that thing wet. They're reliable in harsh conditions, extreme mud, wet, rain, cold, you name it, these things can handle it. No distractions. You're going to look at this watch and see everything you need to see within a matter of seconds. There's not much to look at there. It's a good looking watch. It's fun to interact with when you need to, but there's not a lot to do. So it's going to really limit your distractions, which a guy like me, I need that. The other thing is the style and collectability of the G-Shock since its inception and since it was brought to market has become one of the most iconic styles and looks. And you can get white ones and green ones and pink ones and black ones and gold ones and metal and all this stuff. And you literally, for $20 a pop, can have 6, 7, 8, 10 watches sitting in your closet to match outfits. If you're considering a watch and you want something that you could do some light tech with, like maybe interval training or some timers or countdowns or things like that, old digital stuff. I mean, I know it's not tech. Most people are going to, like, especially people in the tech world, with all the new stuff that we have and all the new phones and the new watches, people are going to be like, dude, come on, man, this is a joke. This is a digital watch, like Star Wars stuff. I see most of the young kids out there that wear these. You got your skateboarders, your surfers, your people that just don't want to drop a lot of cash and beat the snot out of something expensive. This is a perfect watch. So if you have a rough and tough job, if you have a rough and tough hobby, if you just want a watch to wear around and knock around and not worry about, the G-Shock is something to consider. And I can go through these and show you how to set them up. There's a million videos online about how to push the buttons and set these settings. They're just not that complicated. So I just didn't think it was necessary. I just wanted to do more of a dialogue as to why you might want to consider it. And if you got a spare $20 bill laying around, try one out. You might like it. Anyway, tell me what you think below, what your favorite watch is and your logic behind what you like and why you like it. I'd be interested to know. Anyway, you guys have a great night. I'll talk to you soon. Later.